Learning never exhausts the mind. I love those who can smile in trouble, who can gather strength from distress and grow brave by reflection. 'Tis the business of little minds to shrink, but they whose heart is firm and whose conscience approves their conduct will pursue their principles unto death. Art is never finished, only abandoned. There are three classes of people: those who see when they are shown, those who do not see. Poor is the pupil who does not surpass his master. The human foot is a masterpiece of engineering and a work of art. Water is the driving force of all nature. Who sows virtue reaps honor. Iron rusts from disuse. Water loses its purity from stagnation. Even so does inaction sap the vigor of the mind. While I thought that I was learning how to live, I have been learning how to die. A beautiful body perishes, but a work of art dies not. It's easier to resist at the beginning than at the end. Why does the eye see a thing more clearly in dreams than the imagination when awake? The smallest feline is a masterpiece. Life well spent is long. The beginnings and ends of shadow lie between the light and darkness and may be infinitely diminished and infinitely increased. Shadow is the means by which bodies display their form. The forms of bodies could not be understood in detail but for shadow. He who is fixed to a star does not change his mind. The truth of things is the chief nutriment of superior intellects. He who wishes to be rich in a day will be hanged in a year. For verily, great love springs from great knowledge of the beloved object, and if you little know it, you will be able to love it only little or not at all. Every action needs to be prompted by a motive. Our life is made by the death of others. Knowledge of the past and of the places of the earth is the ornament and food of the mind of man. Just as courage imperils life, fear protects it. Science is the captain, and practice the soldiers. I have found that in the composition of the human body as compared with the bodies of animals, the organs of sense are duller and coarser. Thus it is composed of less ingenious instruments, and of spaces less capacious for receiving the faculties of sense. Experience never errs. It is only your judgments that err by promising themselves effects such as are not caused by your experiments. Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so a life well spent brings happy death. Tears come from the heart and not from the brain. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Nature is the source of all true knowledge. She has her own logic, her own laws. She has no effect without cause, nor invention without necessity. I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Being willing is not enough, we must do. He who loves practice without theory is like the sailor who boards ship without a rudder and compass and never knows where he may cast. Where there is shouting, there is no true knowledge. I have offended God and mankind because my work didn't reach the quality it should have. Human subtlety will never devise an invention more beautiful, more simple, or more direct than does nature, because in her inventions nothing is lacking and nothing is superfluous. Time stays long enough for anyone who will use it. Men of lofty genius sometimes accomplish the most when they work least, for their minds are occupied with their ideas and the perfection of their conceptions, to which they afterwards give form. Intellectual passion drives out sensuality. In rivers, the water that you touch is the last of what has passed and the first of that which comes. So with present time. Marriage is like putting your hand into a bag of snakes in the hope of pulling out an eel. The human bird shall take his first flight, filling the world with amazement, all writings with his fame and bringing eternal glory to the nest whence he sprang. All our knowledge has its origins in our perceptions. Where the spirit does not work with the hand, there is no art. Blinding ignorance does mislead us. O wretched mortals, open your eyes. Anyone who conducts an argument by appealing to authority is not using his intelligence, he is just using his memory. There are four powers: memory and intellect, desire and covetousness. The two first are mental and the others sensual. The three senses, sight, hearing, and smell, cannot well be prevented. Touch and taste not at all. Just as food eaten without appetite is a tedious nourishment, so does study without zeal damage the memory by not assimilating what it absorbs. You do ill if you praise, but worse if you censure what you do not understand. As every divided kingdom falls, so every mind divided between many studies confounds and saps itself. The senses are of the earth. The reason stands apart from them in contemplation. Painting is concerned with all the 10 attributes of sight, which are darkness, light, solidity and color, form and position, distance and propinquity, motion and rest. Common sense is that which judges the things given to it by other senses. Nature never breaks her own laws. In order to arrive at knowledge of the motions of birds in the air, it is first necessary to acquire knowledge of the winds, which we will prove by the motions of water in itself, and this knowledge will be a step enabling us to arrive at the knowledge of beings that fly between the air and the wind. All knowledge which ends in words will die as quickly as it came to life, with the exception of the written word, which is its mechanical part. Men of lofty genius, when they are doing the least work, are most active.